What's good, guys? James, Nars Club, bringing you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile today. A little unusual for me, but hey, I'm starting to ramp up the content for this game as well, so let's jump right into it. This is a deck that I brewed up. I'm sure it's not original in any capacity. These archetypes have been out for a while, and I'm sure people have combined them before, but I just kind of got the idea in my head that I could maybe shove them together and have a functional deck, and it's actually been really fun and pretty effective too. So I just wanted to share this list with you guys because I've been having a ton of fun with it. So let's just get into it. We've got ABC Shaddolls. So for those of you not in the know, so Shaddolls are these sort of anti-meta fusion monsters that you can fuse super easily using Shaddoll Fusion and El Shaddoll Fusion, which is Spanish for the Shaddoll Fusion. Um, so you can get these powerful anti-meta monsters as well as enable graveyard shenanigans because Shadow Fusion can fuse straight from your deck if your opponent has a monster special summon from the extra deck, and El Shadow Construct can also send Shadow cards to the graveyard from the deck directly when it's summoned. So good graveyard interactions there. And then ABCs are all built around trying to get out ABC Dragon Buster, who you can quote contact fuse from your graveyard, having the A, B, and C monsters in your discard pile or in play. So that's kind of the whole premise of the deck is we're combining these two very powerful fusion strategies that both want to do stuff from the graveyard, and yeah, your best Shadow Fusion is going to be El Shadow Construct, who needs light monsters, and all the ABCs are light monsters. So that was kind of the initial idea with the deck, and it's worked out pretty well. So let's get into the deck. So we've got 3 B Buster Drake, 3 A Assault Core. I should have put these in the other order. Oh well. And 2 Sea Crush Wyvern. The Wyvern's a little less important. It's generally what we're going to be tutoring up with our Union Hanger and our Union Carrier. So we just play 2 in the deck for a little bit of extra space. You could just play 3 if you wanted the max consistency. Cut, I don't know, something else. I don't really know what you'd cut, honestly. I like everything else how it is. Because like if you cut Terraforming or Foolish, you lose consistency anyway. But yeah, so just this ratio has been fine though. I've had no issue, especially since you only get 2 ABC Dragon Busters. It's limited to 2, so you can only at most you make use of 2 of these anyway. Whereas these have pretty useful effects on their own. The Sea Crush Wyvern does special summon a Union monster when it gets put into the graveyard, or if it leaves the field rather. So it is useful for getting the ABC Dragon Buster into play, but these actually have value plays beyond that because the B Buster Drake tutors a Union from the deck, and the A Assault Core grabs a Union from the discard pile. So you get recurring value off of these even beyond just summoning ABC Dragon Buster. So we just have the 2 Wyverns to make a Dragon Buster and to use its effect to accelerate getting out of Dragon Buster. So that's why we only play 2 of those. We got 2 Gold Gadget and 2 Silver Gadget. 3 is too much. Where even straight ABC decks only play 2 of each of these. So 4s felt fine for this. These help you accelerate out your game plan by getting the ABC monsters on the board, as well as along with another body, so you can then use them to make a Predaplant or a Platinum Gadget or a Union Carrier, whatever effect is going to most effectively get you the rest of your ABC monsters out of your hand and into play and into your graveyard. So these guys help you a ton there. You have your 1 Heavy Mech Support Armor, so when you normal summon it, you can target a Union monster in your graveyard and special summon it, and then it has the normal Union effect of equipping, as well as protecting the equipped monster from card effect destruction. So that can be useful, but mostly we just have it here as you play it, and then it brings back a Union monster from the graveyard into play, so it's a 1 card, Link monster, or it, sets up, El Shadow Fusion by getting you an extra card or whatever. So and the B Buster Drake can tutor any Union. Both of these could grab any Union from the deck or the drop, respectively. So this is generally what you're going to get once you've made your ABC Dragon Buster, because then you have this as your backup play for the next turn if they deal with your board. Not too bad. And then we'll get into the Shaddoll portion of the deck. So we have our Shaddoll Squamata. So when you put him into the graveyard by a card effect, you can send another Shaddoll card from your deck to the drop area. So this gives you super good consistency with your deck. It'll, it just sets up all your graveyard shenanigans. I'll generally send one of these whenever I'm fusing, even if there is something else I want in my graveyard, because then the Squamata will send another thing, so it gets your deck thinned out. So you see your other cards more reliably, so that's nice. It also has 1800 attack, which like isn't irrelevant. So, and its flip effect is okay. As with most of the Shaddolls, we're not really playing them for their flip effects, but if we happen to proc them, that's just gravy. Shaddoll Wendy, so when she's sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can special summon a Shaddoll monster from your deck in face down defense position. So this is a great combo with, for those not in the know, the kind of the combo, quote unquote combo you do with Shaddoll Wendy is you fuse her out using either Shaddoll Fusion or El Shaddoll Fusion to make a Shaddoll Construct, and then when Shaddoll Construct comes into play, you can send a Shaddoll card from your deck to your graveyard. So then what you do is you'll send Resh Shaddoll Incarnation to your graveyard, which you can then remove from your graveyard to flip one of your Shaddolls face up. So the Shaddoll you tutor into play with Wendy will be generally Shaddoll Aerial, which then, when that gets flipped face up, you can... Oh man, this is a convoluted combo, but you can flip it face up and then special summon a Shaddoll that you have removed from play, which you, conveniently just remove from play one of them with this. So effectively, if you fuse out a Shaddoll using Wendy, if you fuse out a construct using Wendy, you get to then get another 2 bodies into play using Shaddoll Aerial, and then this that you send to the drop with El Shaddoll Construct. So that sets up another Union play, or sometimes just Utopia into Utopia the Lightning to end the game like that. Not too bad. You can also get a couple extra plays for like a Boral Sword Dragon, who is also quite good at ending games. So that's kind of the Shaddoll combo there. That's kind of the core of it here. You have the Squamata as redundancy to then send Wendy to the graveyard, and then Aerial as your one-of combo piece, because you can, when you're doing the combo, you just need the one. Then we have some tech slots. We have a Shaddoll Beast, just as if you just want to draw a card, you're either missing a combo piece or you have one of these in your hand or whatever, you can just send this. This will grab... Shaddoll Dragon is an MST on a stick. It can destroy a spell or trap card when it's used as a fusion, or sent to the graveyard, so Squamata can just send it, and you have that as an option. Really nice to have in your tool belt. And then Shaddoll Hedgehog can... it'll grab you Shaddoll from your deck to your hand, so then it can just keep your hand advantage. Because you do want to have cards to pitch to like ABC Dragon Buster and stuff, as well as if you want to go into a second fusion. You can only activate each of these once per turn, but you can activate one of each of them, so that you can then use Shaddoll Hedgehog to pick up another fusion material, and you're off to the races. So that's kind of the Shaddoll core of the deck. We got a couple of hand traps here. We just have 4. We have Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogre. This deck's generally pretty good at playing through the opponent's negates, because we have so many plays we can make off of spell cards, like El Shaddoll Fusion, these are like kind of 1-card combos, and then you also have the ABC stuff that you can play and just kind of churn through your opponent's negates. So we're not super concerned with our opponent making a huge board. Just having 1 disruption piece is generally enough. I like this split of Ghost Ogre and Ash Blossom because like one of the more annoying decks is like Invoked to play against, and I notice a lot of people playing Invoked, so Ghost Ogre is really good against Invoked Macabre, and then Ash Blossom is just really good in general, and Ghost Ogre is just good against a lot of things too. These are just like your staple hand traps. Union Hangers are tutor for our Union pieces, as well as accelerates our Union plays by, we normal summon something with Union, and then we can play a Union from our deck. Generally, it's going to be Sea Crush Wyvern, because then we can use that to special summon what other Union monster we have in our hand as soon as we send it away for like a Link summon or something. And then, that's Union Hanger. We have a Terraforming as our kind of 4th copy of it. That's our only target for it. We've got our 6 fusion spells. We really want to open with one of these because there are playmakers, and then we have a Foolish Burial, which is, it's super great utility. You can find a missing ABC piece. It can, send a Shaddoll to the graveyard and get that effect as well. The Shaddoll Aerial also has the effect when it's sent to the graveyard by card effect. You can banish up to 3 cards from the graveyard. So in a lot of matchups, that's also pretty relevant too. Monster Reborn is just a good card, and then we have Shaddoll Incarnation, which generally we're just using for the From the Grave effect, but hey, sometimes you can get a special summon off of it as well, and that's not too bad either. Go over to the extra deck real quick. We got our ABC Dragon Busters. They're the reason we're playing these ABC cards. Super busted. we're playing 3 Shaddoll Construct, which might seem like a lot, but that's our primary fusion in this deck. We play so many light monsters, and it's so strong, especially since it can help set up our ABC plays and stuff, because we can do things like summon an El Shaddoll Constructs, do the aerial play, and then link summon if you do aerial, and then summon Wendy. You can link summon Union Carrier, because they have the same type. They're both psychic, and you'll have Wendy in your drop already from doing the setup for it. And then you can use Union Carrier to go and grab whatever ABC piece you're missing, and then you can make a Dragon Buster as well. So you'll have a Union Carrier, a Dragon Buster, and an El Shaddoll Construct. Union Carrier is also really good for, you can like just play a Shaddoll Construct and then put an A Assault Core on it, which you normally couldn't do. And then it makes it so it can't be destroyed by monster effects, or, you know, you can do spell effects or trap effects with these. Generally, monster effects is what you want to be avoiding. But so then it's just like this 38k thing that can't be destroyed by special summon monsters, and it can't be destroyed by monster effects. So that's like really hard to deal with for a lot of decks as well, unless they have a kaiju. So yeah, this is like our most important one. I was playing 2 like I do in most Shaddoll decks, but 3, I was going through them really fast. I wanted 3. We got our Apkalone, however you spell it, pronounce it, just for our utility. I don't summon this one too frequently in this deck because we aren't really spamming with Shaddolls exclusively, and we do end up with a lot of lights, so we don't have the mixed type as often. We have our Winda, which is, you know, crazy good. It's great for, especially if we have to go first. We are going second deck, I'll say that, because we want to have our opponent's board set up so we can Shaddoll Fusion really easily. But if we have to go first, Winda's really good. And Winda's actually insanely good with ABC Dragon Buster, because so this makes it so they can only special summon 1 monster a turn. So if you can get both of these out, obviously you'll go for the Dragon Buster first and then Winda, because she stops your ability to play the Dragon Buster. But so you'll get the Dragon Buster out and then play Winda. They can only special summon 1 time a turn, and then you can just use the Dragon Buster to at instant speed destroy whatever monster they special summon. So it's kind of like a soft block you get there. So they'll like make a thing, it'll be big enough to kill your Winda, but then you just pop it with Dragon Buster, and they can't really do anything about it. So that's a really strong interaction in this deck. That's one of the reasons I like this deck a lot. And then we have El Shaddoll and Anontelis. You can make this off of Shaddoll Aerial. It doesn't really come up. I just kind of have it in my... I'd like almost never summon this. I play a lot of Shaddoll decks. I've only summoned it a handful of times. It's just kind of have it as a formality. But I just threw it in there because I feel like I should have it. Because it is useful. We have our Utopia and S39 Utopia, the Lightning. This is just your... Wait, this gets you out of so many spots. It's so nice to have. It gets you out of like the whatever link monster it is, that the Mech Knight link monster that can't be destroyed by special summon monsters in like it has like an honest effect on combat against special summon monsters. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it, but like it gets you out of that, and it gets you out of a ton of different spots just because they can't activate stuff during the combat step when you're fighting with him. And it's also just really good for OTKing if they have a, you know, if they like just passed with like a you know, they made like a Dragoon and you played through it and they have a Predaplant up, you can just like murk them really quick with that. That's like 45k damage plus 2,000 from their Predaplant. So really nice. Boral Sword Dragon is another one. It just gets you out of so many spots. It's such a good OTK machine. And this deck's really good at getting 4 monsters out because you can just use the second effective Dragon Buster during their end step, make 3 monsters. And that's, you know, most of your way there for Boral Sword. And then you just, you know, make a Boral Sword after you do that, and then make another Dragon Buster, and they're probably dead. So, you know, Boral Sword, really, really, really good. We don't have to talk about Boral Sword too much. Nightmare Phoenix is, I rarely leave home without a Nightmare Phoenix in my extra deck. It's just too much utility. Especially in this deck, because it can help you get your graveyard set up for your ABCs. If you can't spam your ABCs fast enough, you can discard this, MST one of their things, and then get an ABC in the drop. And you also can co-link in this deck with Union Carrier to get the card draw as well. I mean, you can technically do it with Boral Sword, but why are you putzing around with this when you can make a Boral Sword? But I do pretty often make a Union Carrier, then a Nightmare Phoenix in the same turn, and then you get the card draw as well. Not too bad. Platinum Gadget, It's generally going to be played off of when you make a gadget play with this, with one of these, and then you can make a platinum gadget and spam another thing from your hand. That's pretty much what it's for. It's just to get the ABCs on the table faster. Union Carrier, same thing, but again, it has some synergy with the rest of the deck because you can put these ABC monsters that you normally couldn't onto some of your bigger fusions. Like if you put like an Assault Core on Winda, really hard to deal with. If you put Assault Core on like any of these Shaddolls, it's going to be really hard to deal with. So that's really nice. And then we have Predaplants. I don't have Dragoon in here. I guess you could technically throw Dragoon in because it's like pretty easy to do. You just like put Dragoon in over this and then throw in like what the package over a couple of cards. But whatever. It's boring. Everyone does that now. But this is really good for. It's really nice because you can like get your ABCs in the drop, turn them into something useful, make an ABC Dragon Buster, and then do this to make like a Shaddoll fusion, and then make another Shaddoll, and that's your summons for the turn. But it's Predator Plant's insane in any deck that can make use of it, right? So not too much to explain there. One of the nice synergies with this deck is so these Shaddoll cards will proc your ABCs if they're in play, so you can go like Union Hanger, play an ABC, tutor up like a Wyvern to equip to it, fusion summon using the monster you just played, and then you proc both of their effects, and then you can use the Wyvern to play whatever last one you have in your hand, and then you have a fusion and an ABC on turn one. And that's like really easy to achieve. I won't lie there. So that's really easy to do. So that can get you like it can't really get you a Winda because you're not fusing with a Dark, but it can get you a Shaddoll Construct and an ABC, and then if you're doing this with like a Winda, you can then turn the Aerial into whatever. Abyss Dweller actually might be a good addition to this extra deck. I don't really know where it would go. Maybe over like this. So Abyss Dweller might be good just for like turn one. You can do it off of Aerial, so that could be good. But you can also do stuff like a Dragon Buster if you have like this stuck in your hand, because this is kind of a Gem Knight Garnet kind of thing where you really don't want to draw it. Like, yeah, it's kind of useful if you draw it, but you can't do your combo stuff as fast if you draw it. But I've had games where I'm just like, okay, pitch it to Dragon Buster, use it, get 2 more free summons, kill you. So pretty good. There's a lot of hidden synergy in this deck. It would take me an hour to explain all of the synergies. Just go try it out. Try out all the different lines. It can do so many different things. It's really cool. Yeah, it can brick, what deck can't brick? It probably bricks a little more than a normal ABC deck or a normal Shaddoll deck, but the power boost is really cool, and the synergy is really cool, and, it's just a fun deck to play. I'm not going to say it's like tournament, it's going to destroy all the meta decks or anything, but I think it can hold its own, and it's fun and interesting and something a little different, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This sideboard's also just kind of stuff I threw in. Like, I don't actually own these cards. These are way too expensive, but you can just kind of do whatever. There should probably be another Shaddoll Dragon in here, and like I said, Abyss Dweller if you can't find it in the extra deck. Okay, I'm done rambling, though. So thanks for checking us out, guys. Make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.